Okay, so here all we're trying to do is show you how the body's put together. And you can see that I put the formers on, and there's the main side spar, which in this case was two pieces of 1/32 by 1/16 glued together because I lost the original template for that side spar, but it worked fine. So you can see I put all the formers down and the top and bottom keel, and I put that side keel on, and all that does is give me actually a lot of stability and strength. And then I just pull them little magnets off and take off that half of the fuselage. This is called, I think, the half shell method of building a fuselage. There's many ways to do it. But now all you do, because there's plastic wrap there, it comes right off easy. And now you have half the fuselage basically formed. And your main goal now is to just go ahead and put the opposite formers on there. But you can see these all come together really nice. It's actually pretty strong. You want to make sure you put the other formers on pretty quick because you don't want to have one side, you want everything to be even basically. So if you put a stringer on one side, you put a stringer on the other, etc. So that's how that front form would go on as an example. And all I did then was start to put these formers on one at a time. I used the Mark I eyeball, which probably isn't the best way. There's ways to do it that are very engineering-wise and perfect. In my case, it seemed to me that making sure it was just perpendicular by eye and being a little careful seemed to work. And here I just fast forwarded to a part where I got several of these things on and in the front. And so the other side of the fuselage is slowly beginning to be put together. And now, once I've done that, I put the side spar on the other side, as I was saying. I had a little hiccup there. And now what I'm going to do is show you how I put in stringers. So that's a piece of 1/16 sheet on my little 1/16 by 1/32 stripper. And you can see I just run that sheet all along there and get myself a nice little 1/32 by 1/16 stringer. Rather pliable, perfect, seems to work fine. And you can do this many ways. Before I keep going, you can see you just sort of add the stringer right along. People mark them, people use cut-out pieces. I don't bother doing that. I take my fast-drying glue, and it's nice for doing this part, at least in the front part of the airplane, because it's kind of heavy. The glue is heavy, but what it does, it lets you have that piece of string or glue on pretty quick and easy, and as you hold it there, it dries fast. But what you do here is you can cut a bunch of notches. You see in the front piece, you can see the notch, but on all the rest of the formers, I in fact don't have any notches at all. In fact, the formers are cut 1/16 smaller than what's on the plans because that 1/16 of an inch can be taken up by my spar, by my little stringers. So I put the front one in its original notch, but the others I just lay directly on top of the former. And it makes for a neat finish. It also makes for, it's very easy to do. You can do it essentially, again, by eye, just making sure that the piece of wood, the stringer, goes down nice and parallel and straight wherever you need it. You can also, I've done before, which is take a piece of thread or something and put it on that front notch and then bring it all the way back to the rear of the tail of the airplane and just draw, and then you automatically, with that piece of thread, you can make exactly a real nice straight whatever place we're going to go. Then take a Sharpie or something and put little dots where that piece of string is on the formers, and then that tells you exactly where to put the glue and where to put your former down. In this case, I didn't bother doing that. I just slowly and carefully kept adding little bits of glue and just kept slowly adding that stringer, gluing that stringer down until it got to the tail. You also notice I got this little rig that's trying to hold the spars, everything square and true. All those are a couple of popsicle sticks, because I guess they're pretty strong and straight little pieces of wood, and I just have them sandwiched with a couple of clamps between the top, upper and lower keels on the fuselage, and that just is, it serves as a handy way to hold the airplane so you don't crush things, but it also helps maintain um, the perpendicular nature and the parallel nature of all those parts, because you want to make sure you don't start to get a banana shape into this thing. But it works quite well. Some people do that and then they actually glue or clamp the bottom ends of those popsicle sticks or pieces of wood to a nice other solid piece of straight wood, and again, because it's all straight, it's going to maintain that going to maintain the straightness of everything. Um, but you can see all you do now is just do that ever so slowly. You just keep adding stringers until you're done. And you add one to one side, one to the other, one to one side, one to the other. So you keep going back and forth so you don't get any weirdness. Dries quick, you can start to trim little things. And this thing will just ultimately be carefully sanded. And then we'll add some wood pieces where the struts are going to go, and around the cowling and nose.